I can just end my story. My story started in that sad little place where I didn't believe in my chick flick. To go around with this movie and the screenings that we've been doing and the festivals, and then to talk with people from the audience, women who come up and are just in tears and saying, "That was my life, how did you know?" I feel now so much more sure of its value and the importance of telling all kinds of stories, these kinds of stories.
That's great. I think that is the sort of the magic of being a storyteller, and you have to tell that story that's so passionate for you. And if it's that passionate for you, then it's almost certainly going to touch other people. It's not going to touch everyone, but it's going to like an arrow. It's going to find its way. You know, so good for you. Janet tells me, Phyllis, you're going to direct a film, or?
Yes.
What's next for you?
Well, I've already directed a film, actually, and I will do another one probably early next year. But in the meantime, listening to people talk about how we have to empower ourselves, and women in particular in positions of power. Those are the people who have been supporting me and behind me over the last 8 months. Studio people, women. I have jobs for as long as I want them, fingers crossed, at the moment. And they're coming from women. It's interesting. But the movie that I'm going to direct is about the Welsh actress Rachel Roberts, the last 18 months of her life. And it's a film that's about what happens to women, basically, in this business. Rachel Roberts committed suicide in 1980 after having been married to Rex Harrison for a very long time. And Rachel Weisz is going to do it with me. But this has only taken 10 years to get to the point where I can direct another movie. And the first one was nominated out the wazoo for every award going. So I think it is a little different with, let's say, developing female directors and developing male directors. That we can measure, that we know.
Well, would you say that it took Carol for you to be able to get this film on its feet?
Pretty much, yeah.
Be nominated for an Oscar.
God damn it, yeah. Gotta do it, yeah.
Well, at least you won't have the Oscar curse on you, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too many people. What's the name of this film? Can you tell us?
It's called Whirlpool.
Whirlpool.
Yeah.
Wow, sounds fantastic. Are there any men in it?
Yes. There are 2 men in it, but they're very much supporting. Yeah, no, they don't speak.
They don't.
Silent film actors. But they're very much supporting, and actually the question you get is, oh, well, who's going to play those roles? And I'll say, but why? You've got, the star's a woman, she's an Oscar-winning actress, but she's not worth anything. You know, this is the other part of that which we all know about, is how much foreign sales drive the movie business. And it's like an intricate, maddening puzzle that I don't understand. People whom you would think would drive sales, really good actors, don't. They're all action stars, or not to say that they're not good actors, but they're, you know, this is not Meryl Streep or Kate or something like that.
Even so, I don't think, I mean, it's very rare to find any actor who can open a film today, but there's even fewer women actors who can open a film.
She whose name we won't mention anymore, because you don't want us to. Jen. And a few others.
I get that memo, but yeah. Right. Yeah, very few. So, but you know, that's the business side of it. But again, there's very few actors today again. But I love this idea of like who's going to be the supporting role in that, and I bet you'll get some fantastic
We will when it's a
Tell.
movie, because that's how men work in the business.
They
If there's
wanna
a
work.
job,
Yeah.
no, if there's a job, they'll sign on to it. Whereas I could get probably most actresses to sign on to those supporting roles without a financed film. People will commit. Men won't commit. They need to know, you need me for 2 weeks, and what's the rate, and then
So they have a commitment issue.
And we have this exact challenge on the movie I just did, starring Drew Barrymore and Toni Collette, and written by a woman, directed by a woman, starring 2 women, the male roles, the husbands. Most guys, I'm not going to play the husband role, but we got 2 great actors.
got great actors, yeah.
we did. But good job to get them. Challenging, yeah.
Well, I just want to say that I think that Kamka has done an incredible balance that way, because you've done the big action movies, taken X-Men, that's given you the overseas value so that you could come and do a small film like ours that gave us the ability to fund it. So thank you, and that was like super smart of you.
I've been doing that probably for 25 years, and I've done more independent films than I've done studio films, but you're only remembered for the bigger ones because nobody sees, very few people see, unfortunately, the independent films, but that's where my love and my heart lies, and I just do whatever I can to support them. But I was thinking through what we're all talking about. One of the big problems I have is not having had a role model. I think that for men, they grow up and there's so many role models for them to have, from the president to whatever it is, for us it's just much harder. So my role model has always been Louise Bourgeois, and I'm sure most of the people in this room don't even know who she is, but she was a French artist who ultimately lived in Chelsea in New York, but she very much paved her own way and was her own very unique artist who, her art is on par with Picasso probably, an incredibly gifted woman, but was never, her name was never as known as the other artists who she was really comparable to. So I think that hopefully what all of you can be is role models for, and you, for the younger generation behind you. And I think so it's just, keep working on doing great stuff and speaking the truth and telling your stories. And, that's all. I think everybody just needs role models to look up to and know that somebody else has started paving the way for them.
And Sharon kicking ass, starting her own badass website, trades, world domination. Love it. Yeah.
That's true. You're the only woman occupying that space, aren't you?
I'm the only woman founder and CEO, for sure, the owner, yeah. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, yes.
We started in my guest house. We're now 50 people covering the industry, so, and growing every day. So thanks for reading us. But really, Becky, what a beautiful way to inspire all of us to be role models ourselves and to support one another in the great work that everybody's doing. And thank you all for coming and for supporting the ideas behind this festival and for enjoying a great piece of filmmaking. Thank you, Janet, and thanks for having me, and thank you all for being here.